On the news, Labour Party's Peter Obi challenges Tinubu to disclose age and reintroduce himself to Nigerians. Defense and Humanitarian Affairs Ministries collaborate on Project Nigeria. And Senate launches full-scale investigation into crude oil theft in Nigeria. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Adigun. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the February 25 elections, Peter Obi, has challenged President Bola Tinubu to unveil his true identity to save the image of the country. Addressing a press conference on Wednesday in Abuja, Obi said the Chicago State University saga certificate and the lingering identity question marks of the president have worsened the country's less than glorious image internationally. He said uninformed outsiders now see every other Nigerian as a potential fraudster, certain forger, or identity thief, adding that the controversy is unnecessary, just as the implicit global embarrassment.
Chief Ahmed Bola Tinubu still owes the nation and the world a simple debt of obligation only he can discharge. I therefore respectfully and humbly call on him to immediately and personally mount the rostrum of his present high office to perform a simple task once and for all time. He should reintroduce himself to the nation he governs and to the world for avoidance of further doubt. He should let the world know his name, his nationality, his place of birth, his parentage, the primary and secondary school he attended with dates, as well as the actual universities he attended and certificates obtained. It should indicate clearly where and when he did his national youth service. In addition, if at any time he had had a change of name, it should state so clearly and circumstance that his name itself is no crime. This is a simple task that will take only a few minutes. It requires no affidavit, prolonged court process, spokesperson, agents, or surrogates. The task is one that only Chief Bola Tinubu himself, through a direct personal statement, can perform. He must perform this task urgently in order to lay to rest, once and for the last time, the many lingering doubts and valid speculation about his true identity.
In commemoration of the 2023 International Day of the Girl Child, aimed at advocating for the full spectrum of girls' rights, a coalition of groups in collaboration with the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board has advocated for the inclusion of girls in driving technology development. Speaking at a sensitization program on Wednesday, the director of the Girl Child Guide and School Counseling Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in Lagos State, Oladeji Olawole, called on parents to throw their support behind the girl child, which will help them understand their rights and achieve their full potential. Our correspondent Tamilore Akinkwole completes the story.
Girls from 6 different schools in Lagos State are gathered here by non-governmental associations under the aegis of Civil Society Association Coalition on Education for All to be enlightened on issues faced by girls globally as a result of the agenda and to deepen the push for equal opportunities for girls. Charging every girl child to be able to reach their capability, Oroluwa Lesi, founder of Women Technology Empowerment Center, says the inclusion of women in technology stands as a boost to the economic growth of the nation.
We want the girls to know that they have the power to also come up with innovations and inventions that can solve problems for everyone. And even if they decide that they don't want to go into a strictly STEM job, technology and innovation is still going to intersect with whatever they are going to do. So we want them not to be scared about these subjects, but to really embrace learning about them.
Speaking on behalf of Lagos State Ministry of Education, Oladeji Olawole said there must be recommitment to working together to build a world where every girl can lead and thrive.
There is nothing a woman can do that, a woman cannot do that. When they take it very seriously, I mean, they get child education, they are going to be the greatest beneficiaries. Because look at former President of Liberia in Africa. I think Miss Salif. I think she was a female president in that kind of part of this world. It can encourage us that if you sponsor your girl, they will cover a few president in Nigeria too. Doing very well.
While major sectors in digital development lack the presence of women, Tolu Obokade called for an end to the pipeline problem in education learning process of a girl child.
One of the biggest issues we have is a pipeline problem, and by that I mean if we don't have girls learning about STEM when they're 5, then they don't become computer scientists or engineers when they're 20, and then they don't get the opportunity to become CEOs when they're 35 or 40. Essentially, we do need to build out a scenario where girls are interested and get more involved in STEM very early on in their careers, because this helps us to get the opportunity to have more girls getting involved in digitization and technology.
As a contributing effort to the achievement of SDGs, the group called for a better learning environment in the state and better laid-down principles for every girl.
Programs like this or celebrating international days like this, actually will bring in confidence for the young girls. And today that we're here speaking on digital generation, it's actually to boost, their confidence.
We are not oblivious of the fact that the girl child is always at a disadvantage, especially from the poor and marginalized home. When there is no fund for education, the girl child is always the scapegoat. And we want not just the parents to know that the girl child education is very, very important, but also that the government will put policies in place to make sure that the girl child is given an equitable stake at the education space.
The organizers say an intrinsic part of tech is breaking boundaries and presenting new ideas to the world, so having women leaders in this area is particularly important. They also called for parental support for technology inclusion for the girl child. Tamilore Akinkolie, TV360 Lagos.
Defense Minister Mohammed Abubakar says the Ministry of Defense is set to partner with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation on the implementation of Project Nigeria. Abubakar made the pledge when the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. This next report has more details. Despite the myriad of security challenges and the multitude of issues that the new government of Bola Tinubu has to tackle, the president says his administration is committed to mobilizing all assets within its power in securing the country. This was at the core of discussions at this meeting between the Minister of Defense Mohammed Abubakar and Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Betta Edu to discuss the Project Nigeria initiative. Edu said that the purpose of her visit to the minister was to seek the ministry's buy-in and support in the area of security to ensure a seamless implementation of the initiative, which she said is one of many as part of the current administration's renewed hope agenda.
Our job spans across the country, going into slums, into areas that might be under security concerns, as well as even areas that are not under security concerns. We seek that the Ministry of Defense will partner with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to ensure that both the officers and the field workers, the humanitarian workers, are protected at all times.
In his response, the Defense Minister assured the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation of the unwavering support and dedication of the Nigerian Armed Forces to ensure the implementation of Project Nigeria.
Every military that is serving is with the CDS and the three Navy, Army and Air Force heads. but those that have retired, from the day they retired and all fall, they move to the ministry.
Yes.
So together with the CDS and the other army chiefs will coordinate this and make sure it's being done transparently. And that is why we invite the chairman of the Nigerian Legion here, so that they will actively participate and make sure that the intended support have reached the families and the right beneficiaries.
On his part, the chairman of the Nigerian Legion, retired Major General Abdul Malik Jubril, says that injecting the Corps of Commissioners into the program under the supervision of the Ministry of Defense was a welcome idea that would give hope to the veterans and their families.
We are in the process of getting the data for all the retirees and their families and dependents. I've not accomplished that yet because of lack of funds. But with this, and I'm sure with further instruction from the honorable ministers, the Legion will be up and doing.
Jubril said that Project Nigeria would give hope to retirees and further boost the morale of personnel in the field. Simisola Atikun, TV 360 News. Still on security, the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, has asked troops of the Nigerian Army to take the fight to Boko Haram terrorists rather than wait for an attack. Musa spoke to troops of Operation Hadinkai at the Maimalari Cantonment, Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, on Tuesday. Speaking further, Musa said President Tinubu appreciated the sacrifices and commitment of the troops in the fight against insurgency. Meanwhile, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has called for deeper collaboration between Nigeria and the United States of America. Akpabio made this call on Tuesday during the courtesy visit by David Green, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, saying that the federal government is ready to continue seeking America's support in all ramifications for quick socio-economic and political growth, while guaranteeing support of the United States for Nigeria in all sectors. The U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, David Green, said one of his goals is to become familiar with the leadership of the House and find areas of agreement for a productive working relationship between both countries.
The United States has a vast presence here, and we do a lot of cooperative work with every facet of Nigeria on economic issues, development, political, security, across the board, labor, you name it. We are working on it cooperatively with the government of Nigeria. And as a proud constitutional democracy, as a proud, diverse republic, a federal republic, we have a deep appreciation for the system of governance that prevails in Nigeria, and specifically the way in which power is divided and shared between executive, legislative, and judicial systems, and the way in which an elected legislature works.
For us, we believe strongly that this Fourth Republic that we're in has taken us just roughly under 25 years. So for us to nurture it, to look like the grass, the idea being found in the United Kingdom, we have to nurture this for up to 200 years. And that is our prayer. And we need people like you, we need partners like you, and America particularly has done very well for all democracies across the world.
The Senate has ordered a comprehensive probe into the activities of security forces and organized groups employing sophisticated techniques to steal crude oil in the country. This decision was prompted by a motion put forth during Tuesday's plenary session by Ned Nwoko, senator representing Delta North constituency, who reeled out data on what Nigeria loses to pipeline vandalism and oil bunkering. Our correspondent Folashade Olusegun tells us more in this next report.
For years, oil theft has been a persistent problem in Nigeria, negatively impacting crude oil production and Nigerians' revenue and promoting calls for thorough investigation. To this end, the Senate has mandated its Committee on Petroleum Resources, Gas, Host Communities and Niger Delta to conduct thorough investigation on oil theft in the country. The motion was sponsored by House member Ned Nwoko and co-sponsored by Senden Dafone and Jade Thomas. In his lead debate, Nwoko expressed worry over activities of oiltels and their collaborators, which he said has hampered economic development.
In March 2023, Nigeria incurred a substantial loss of 65.7 million barrels of crude oil, valued at $83 per barrel, translating to a staggering revenue loss of 2.3 trillion as a result of oil theft.
Other speakers called for proper check on issues of oil theft in Niger Delta, adding that there was a challenge of collaboration among security agencies.
The biggest problem we have in this country, Mr. President, is punitive measure. All these things, there are a lot to it. A colleague of mine now was contributing. He even said at his backyard, he has been arresting people who are bunkering, doing bunkering at his backyard. But nothing has happened. There have not been any punitive measure. And the moment we continue like this, it will just be go day in, day out. It become a lucrative business because nobody is being punished for it.
My suggestion, Mr. President, is that given the seriousness of this situation, and I will dare say before the new government, each agent gets sucked into the tradition, this is the time to stop it.
In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio said oil theft had a detrimental influence on the country's oil production capacity despite its growing population.
Into the actions of security forces, militia groups, the local populace, oil company employees, and any individual or entities suspected to be using sophisticated methods to pilfer our oil resources from the oil facilities within our country.
Summing up the plenary section, the Senate, however, charged the committee to carry out holistic investigation in the interest of the nation and mandated them to present its report on investigation in 6 weeks. Folashade Olusegun, TV 360, Abuja.
We'll take a break here, but still coming up. Birmingham City appoints ex-England captain Wayne Rooney as manager. Stay with us for details. Thank you for staying with us on News Now. A quick recap of our top stories. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the February 25 election, Peter Obi, has challenged President Bola Tinubu to unveil his true identity to save the image of the country. Addressing a press conference on Wednesday in Abuja, Obi said the Chicago State University certificate saga and the lingering identity question marks of the president have worsened the country's less than glorious image internationally. We also told you that the Senate has ordered a comprehensive investigation into the activities of security forces and organized groups employing sophisticated techniques to steal crude oil in the country. This decision was prompted by a motion put forth during Tuesday's plenary session by Ned Nwoko, senator representing Delta North constituency, who reeled out data on what Nigeria loses to pipeline vandalism and oil bunkering. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins, for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store and Huawei App Gallery. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. As part of efforts to promote exportation and align activities of Nigeria's micro, small and medium enterprises with global best practices, the Standards Organization of Nigeria has trained entrepreneurs to enable them compete globally and earn forex. Farouk Salim, the Director General, Standards Organization of Nigeria, said this will further mitigate the forex crisis currently experienced in the country, as more export earnings will help in revitalizing the nation's economy.
Another issue that we here in this country don't take cognizance, and it's a big advantage for us if we take advantage of it, is the fact that Europeans and Americans and other people overseas have discovered that using chemicals for fertilizer and pesticides is not the best way of doing business. And because of that, there are products that even if they are up to standard, when they test the residue for pesticides or those chemicals, and they see a trace of it, they will reject the whole batch. So it's our responsibility, if you come to us, to tell you that this is the residue you cannot put on your products. The only way you can block other people from bringing products into your country is by using standards and quality and packaging. You can have the best product, but the way you package it is so bad that even the person trying to buy it will only have to taste it to make sure it is good, but it doesn't look appealing.
We'll take another break here and return with stock market report. Bullish sentiments on the local bourse continued on Wednesday, raising the market by 0.17%. The market capitalization still stands at the 36.8 trillion naira mark, with the market breadth ending positive, well, with 18 gainers against 17 losers. Thomas Wyatt Nigeria led the gainers with 9.81% share price appreciation, followed by Dar Communications. At the end of trading, investors exchanged a total of 410 million volume of shares valued at over 4 billion naira in 5,637 deals. Now, for our select foreign stocks, the market ended in the bears for the UK's FTSE and US Dow Jones, ending at 0.11% and 0.22% respectively. However, Japan's Nikkei ended in bullish trend at 0.60%. On the global scene, amid the ongoing conflict between Israel and the State of Palestine, the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, has said Israel is not at war with Palestine, but has declared war with Hamas and will do everything to wipe out the group. Disclosing this on Tuesday, Freeman lamented that Saturday's attack on Israel was the worst after the Holocaust. Freeman urged the international community to support the push to end the terror reign of Hamas.
Thousands of Hamas terrorists came from the Gaza Strip. They infiltrated Israel, they broke through the border, and they came into dozens of Israeli towns and villages and communities. And when they went in there, they began a murderous rampage, murdering men, women, and children. We've got reports just now, in the last 10 minutes, that in one of the small communities that we went into, that troops have only managed to go into today, we have discovered 40 dead babies. And over the coming days, as we start to go on the offensive, I would ask you to remember why we're doing this, what the basis is, because there will be some difficult days ahead for everybody, and for the Palestinians in Gaza, as we get and we tackle and we track down Hamas, it will be difficult. So I say, please remember that at the end of this, we're doing this for a better future for Israelis, but a better future for Palestinians, and a better future for the world.
On entertainment news, the Director General of the Nigeria Copyright Commission, NCC, John Asien, has called on those in the creative and entertainment industry in Nigeria to adopt the legacy of late Afrobeat legend Fela Ransom Kuti in their content creation. Asien gave the charge in Lagos at the 15th Fela debate, which kicked off on October 9. According to him, the art philosophy appeal to the audience and business management of late Fela are worthy of study and emulation.
You look at the philosophy, you look at the political involvement, you look at the interface with society, and then you look at how he managed the business, not only while he was alive, but how the family has managed to keep it going. That to me is a model that should be studied, and other musicians should try and put in place those kind of structures that will ensure sustainability.
The government really needs to, even open an institute that is just music. That's one of the things. That's not just music, creative arts. Because the school Madi went to Laban is about dancing as well. It's about creativity. It's about music. It's not just one music.
Celebration was to honor Fela and celebrate him as one of our heroes. And I think the success is that it has grown over time and Nigerians have come to accept, how committed Fela was to change this country. And I appreciate that he was really and truly committed to changing things for the better. I guess a key characteristic that's missing in our leaders.
And in sports, Birmingham City has appointed Wayne Rooney as their new manager. The 37-year-old former England captain has joined the Championship club on a 3.5-year deal. Rooney succeeds Blues head coach John Eustace, who was sacked on Monday after 15 months in charge. The former Everton and Manchester United striker's appointment is the first managerial change made by Blues' new American owners Shelby Companies Limited since they took over in July. And that we end the news on News Now at this time. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.